Tonight I'm doing an outline manicure. The final look will be similar to this. I may end up going with a border of nail foils. We'll see how that turns out if I decide to do it. But the main part of the design is going to be very similar to this. Now the colors that I'm using, Clean Color White as my base in order to make Broadway Sands in Heaven pop. Because it's a light color and it's relatively sheer, I use white underneath to give it a little bit of oomph to bounce off of. And then the last color, the black, is going to be LA Colors Circuits, which is a nice deep one coat black. My base coat is, again, Bonder by Orly. I'm also going to be using not only my Seche Vite top coat, but I'm going to be using a matte top coat on top of that. The reason why you do a quick dry top coat before you do your matte top coat is because the matte top coat doesn't last very long, and the quick dry top coat gives a little bit more longevity. Now I've already got my base coat on, so I'm going to start with the white base layer. Now I'm going to put 2 coats of white on just because I have OCD and I can't stand streaks, but you don't have to use 2 coats of white as a base color if you're going to be putting something else over it. And then of course always cap the nail. And that didn't show up on camera. So let's try this again on camera. You go almost all the way to the cuticle and then swipe down and then of course cap your nail. And there might end up being a little bit on your fingertips, but you can wipe it off real quick with acetone and a cleanup brush. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my nails taken care of, and then I'll be back. So now that I've got all of my nails with the white base and tidied up, I'm going to come in with my green. This is a cute shimmery green, kind of reminds me of freshly mown grass. And so I'm going to put this on in the same manner that I put the white polish on, which is slowly back up to the edge, as close to the cuticle as possible, and then swipe down. And then, of course, everything gets capped. So once again, as close to the cuticle as I can get. Since I've already got a base color on, it's easier to color within the lines, so to speak, and just go all the way to the border of the white. And as you can see, the white is really making this pop, which was the point behind putting white polish down. Anytime that I use a super light pastel or neon color or an extremely sheer color like this green is, I always put a white polish down first because it prevents super thick layers of polish, so I don't have to put quite as many on, and it also makes the colors stand out a little bit brighter. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the rest of my nails, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so now I've got all 10 fingers done with the green on top of the white. Now I'm going to start the outline. So I'm going to take my black polish and I'm going to pour a little bit out onto my work surface. I'm using a silicone mat as usual, but you can also pour polish out onto like a yogurt lid or anything that's plastic that won't be too difficult to clean up. So I'm going to put my black down. I'm going to pour a fair amount out. And now I'm going to take a super thin striping brush. This is one that I trimmed down to make super thin. A normal size striping brush will work just as well. I like this one just because it gives me a little bit more accuracy. And so I drag my brush through the polish so that it stays all in one. The bristles of the brush stay in one solid piece instead of spreading out all over the place. And I'm going to start at the midpoint at the top of my nail and come down and around. Let me try that again. So I'm going to start at the midpoint at the top of my nail, draw the brush down and around. I'm going to keep dipping my brush until I get the border where I want it. And one of the reasons why I'm using my super thin brush for this is because it doesn't put a whole lot of polish on with each stroke. That way I can add to it. It's a lot easier to add than it is to remove. And now I'm going to start at the midpoint again, bring it down and around. So I'm focusing primarily on the sides right now. I will get the top the way I want it before too much longer. So now that I've got my sides how I like them, or how I want them to be, I'm going to fix the top. And that's just a matter of adding a little extra polish to the side and the center to even things out. And I will be tidying things up, of course, with my cleanup brush. So let's do that again. This one, it's not as friendly to short nails as it is long nails, just because it does put a border around them and it can make your nails look a little bit shorter. But I was just feeling this one today. And once again, starting at the center and drawing out and around. Now I know it's not super impressive right now, but once I get it cleaned up, it'll look much better. And I think what I'm going to do is remove the bottom part on this one and just do the top and sides. So again, starting at the center, draw out and around. And then just fill in. Again, starting at the center, out and around. It's a little on the messy side right now, but it'll look better once I'm done. And There's always one spot that refuses to get colored. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my nails, and I'll meet you back. So now that I've got all of my nails outlined and tidied up, I'm going to start with the top coat. I'm going to start off first with Sèche Vite, a glossy top coat, because it's a quick dry top coat and it will help the manicure last longer. So I'm going to get a large glob on the tip of the nail, or tip of the brush, and liberally cover my nail with it. And of course, not forgetting to cap. So once again, a large glob liberally coating the nail and capping. And once I finish with these nails, I will add my matte top coat. So now these have been hit with a quick dry glossy top coat to protect them, I'm going to mattify them. And I'm using Sally Hansen's Big Matte Top Coat. It is one of the better ones that I've tried, and you can see it mattify your nails within seconds. You want to make sure that the brush doesn't pull the polish that you've already got down. So make sure that you have a liberal amount on the tip of the brush in order to avoid streaking. That's the last thing you want after working so hard on your manicure, is for everything to streak and look like crap. And as you can see with my cuticles, the downside of using pure acetone as your cleanup liquid is it dries the crap out of your cuticles. But that's what we have cuticle oil for. And as you can see, it's mattifying as it's drying. And it mattifies rather quickly, which I like. And so there's the finished manicure. I will have to clean up a little bit of the top coats as that got over onto my cuticles, but that'll take all of like 2 seconds. So this is the final look. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching.